Guys, Jenny with On Fire Fit, and it has been a minute since I did my update on my minimalism year, my project pan no buy year, all of my use it or lose it, all the things that I've been doing. And the reason is that I wasn't really using much stuff up. I kind of went through a bunch of things that were really low earlier in the year. And then as the year went by, I was not using up things as quickly. But now I do have a little stash that we're going to go through. And I love it because I was actually thinking about making this video last night. And then this morning, I got a message from my friend Nikki, who always comments to me about these videos. And she is actually one of my friends that gave me the Smashbox palette that when she was kind of going through her stash of stuff, she gifted to me. And she showed, actually I should try to insert her picture, but she had a couple of makeup palettes that had a lot of product gone, but the edges still had stuff. And she said, I know I can get more out of it. And it was, she said she ended up kind of scraping it and making it into a powder. She is so my girl. This is exactly how I live my life. I think it's fun. I actually love that kind of stuff because I'm always like, yes, I can make this work. And I'm always shocked and surprised when you open even just like a bottle of lotion or something, how much stuff is still in there that you can get out. So it's not that I can't afford to buy something new, but why do that when you can use what you have? And I feel like that's being a good steward. So I'm going to first go through my products, and then I'm going to show you the one book that I think I feel like I must have read more than this book. I actually have 3 or 4 books going right now, but maybe I stuck them back up in the attic and just forgot to pull them aside, but I only have one book to go through today. Okay, so first let me go through makeup, and these are kind of not the most exciting to me because it's not like I've had them around for a long time and I finally used it up or something. These are things that I'm going to and have replaced actually. I won't pull out all the replacement, but my foundation, right now I'm using Infallible. I actually also use Giorgio Armani, but this is sort of the cheaper version. My daughter, who is my fashion and makeup consultant, always says that this is a good one. I use number 425, but I'm sort of on the fair side, but I also have like olive tone skin. So I finally used this up, and yes, I opened the bottle and I used this brush, this Bobbi Brown brush, to scrape it out, and it probably lasted me another month. After the pump stopped working, I still was able to scrape out. Then it just starts to dry up on the side, so you got to get rid of it then. But yes, if you didn't know I was frugal, now you know. Okay, excuse me. I used up 2 mascaras. This one is Ulta. It was okay, not my favorite. Called Legendary Lengths. I think it was maybe part of some deal when I bought it at Ulta. And then Maybelline, this is sort of a standby for most people. Great Lash, always like it. I have to say though, the one that I use currently is always the one that I love the most. And I think the label is all wearing off, but it's Dior and it's called Blackout, and I love this mascara, but it's a little more pricey. So I used up both of those mascaras because now I'm down to just the one mascara. So that's good. Actually, I had to buy that one because I didn't have any left, so I used it all up. Okay, let's go into the face products. So I use a Retin-A on my face, and this was a sample Retin-A. That one's used up. This is a knockoff generic Retin-A. I used that one up. And And these are the products that I alternated on days, always in the evening time. One is, they're both by MD Complete. This one's Wrinkle and Radiance Remedy. And this one actually has like a retinol in there. And then this is Dark Spot Corrector. I don't know if I really saw a big difference. I probably do notice when I don't have something like this, but I don't know. Sometimes it's hard for me to tell if it was more dramatic than something else. They did go on really nicely. They're very creamy. They're very, they smell good. And I'm one of those people, you probably are not supposed to want fragrance in your products, but I really do like it. As long as it's not, got really bad stuff or whatever. So anyway, would I use those again? I would. I haven't replaced them yet, but for the time being, I'm just using kind of like a spray thing and then just a lotion at night. But anyway, so I did like them. They were good. I used a magnesium deodorant. Absolutely 100% do not recommend. If I am not going to really be around people, I would use this one. So then you might ask, well, why would you use the deodorant that you're going to be alone? Well, magnesium is good for you, and it absorbs in your skin and is good for you in the absorption through your skin. And so truly a magnesium-based product that you use on your skin is good. I used to use like a spray magnesium when I got out of the shower, and it really feels like you're throwing little pins at yourself. I mean, it's not that dramatic, but it is kind of a weird, like prickly thing. And I never really got used to that. So anyway, I now had heard this as a recommendation from somebody on social media, but I did not think it works. I'm not a really sweaty person, but I did not think that it worked. And it leaves kind of a weird, like, I don't mean to sound crude or rude, but it's like kind of feels wet under your arm. I don't know. It's not for me. I am glad I'm done with that one. And then last for products was my castor oil. And the castor oil I've used actually for a few different things. So this one, I believe, was made intentionally more for like skin, hair, things like that. And you can use it for your eyelashes, your eyebrows. I use this like around my eyes. I would dab and rub it in at night, not during the day because it's too greasy. And then the other thing that I used this for was foot care. And I actually said that on social media, and people were like, no way. And I did. And it's nice and thick, and I would put that on and then put socks over it. I'm actually going to make a video about foot care because people have asked about it. So yes, castor oil, good old-fashioned castor oil. And I am not using it currently, but I would use it again because I do think that it's, good, and it's a natural product. Okay, and then for my book, Practice the Presence of God by Brother Lawrence. For the longest time, I had this on a little sticky note in my file for books to read someday. I had not purchased the book, but every so often a pastor would talk about this book and I'd be like, oh, I need to look that up. And I just never got around to it. So I finally went ahead and ordered it on Amazon, and it is amazing. I absolutely love it. It might be for a certain stage of your walk with God. I don't know. I think that there's parts to it that people might think, is that really even real? Like, can you really be that way? What I like is that he did not write this as a book to be published. In fact, this is kind of like his letters and his journaling. And he would send people letters, and he specifically did not want his stuff published. And so they waited until after he died because he was so humble and he just wanted to be with God. And he really did. He was a monk, but he didn't really want the fame or whatever. But I just love it because it's super simple. Sometimes we really overly complicate how to connect with God. Like we feel like we're always working through formulas, or feel like, oh, I'm just never doing enough. And he just really lived his life, I feel like, in a very peaceful way, because if he was going about his work, he felt like that was part of his time with God, and he would always dedicate everything to God. And then when he found that his mind had kind of wandered away, he would just bring it right back. And in the evenings, he would just, confess any sin. And then the next day he just picked up and didn't look back. He didn't look back into yesterday. He was like, oh, that was forgiven yesterday. And on he went. It's such a simple way to live if you can do that. And I think that his lifelong ambition to practice the presence of God is very, the journey that I've been on, and it's a beautiful thing. So anyway, totally recommend that book. It's one of those that I went back, underlined, circled things, starred things, and really enjoyed that. So, and if any of my local friends want to borrow it, you are more than welcome to it. It does have all of my writing in it, so you may want to get your own copy. Okay, so I hope that my little update isn't too disappointing. I didn't have a whole lot of stuff here. Food kind of related things, I already really went through all of that stuff. So I am just nearing the end of the year and did a really good job, I think, so far with not overbuying things. And I don't know, that was kind of the goal. So thanks for coming along with me for this fun little journey. I hope that you're living your life on fire.